What's going on, everybody? Nathan Olson here, and today we plan to discuss what is spirituality. Instead of just sitting at home, decided it might be more fun to drive up to the mountains and have this discussion while we're on a little hike, so we'll see what comes of it. So we made it. For those of you who are familiar with Colorado, we're at Brainard Lake right now. Absolutely beautiful morning out here. But back to the topic on hand, we're talking about spirituality. When you first bring up that topic, you either get people roll their eyes at you, think you're some crazy hippie, or some people who have better understanding. But at the end of the day, I think it helps to review some of the basics, and there's a lot to learn from just talking about what spirituality means. I think a good place to start is to look at Google's definition of what is spirituality. And that is the quality of being concerned with the human spirit or soul as opposed to material or physical things. Building off this, spirituality involves the practice of expanding your consciousness through looking beyond our normal human existence, going within ourselves to discover our purpose or significance beyond the day-to-day mundane life. I would also say that spirituality involves the recognition of an inner feeling, sense, or undeniable understanding that we are greater than our individual selves, that there is more to being human than this basic sensory experience, and that we are all a part of a greater whole of cosmic divine nature. Okay. Now that we've looked at some of the definitions of spirituality, I wanted to look into some of the themes. Some of the first ones that come to the mind for me are an awakening, looking inward, and most importantly, love. Not just the love that you have as an affection towards a significant other, but a true compassion for everything in this universe. Another common discussion point that comes up quite often is what the difference is between spirituality and religion. Although spirituality and religion are not the same thing, they do have some overlaps. You can be spiritual with or without being religious. Typically, religions are institutionalized systems with a specific set of organized beliefs and practices shared by the group, whereas spirituality involves a lot of self-discovery, such as answering questions like, who am I? What's my purpose? What's the meaning of life? And developing beliefs around these inner understandings in a less rigid format. Although I do not consider myself to be religious, I do think there is a lot of good information that can be learned from religions. However, your discernment is recommended, as there tends to be fear-based information interwoven in some of these religions, whereas spirituality encourages the abandoning of fear for compassion and love. One last point on this topic that I feel is important is for spiritual people to maintain others' free will and not force anything on anyone else. If people are curious, they may come to you and ask questions. At which point, you can plant some seeds of these spiritual concepts and let them decide if they want to know more. If not, these seeds may develop at a later point. Instead of using the drinking from the fire hose method, where you may say, we are all one. We live in an illusion. ETs are real and have been here and are modifying our DNA. There's a secret society running the world. This usually does not tend to go over very well, or inspire people to become spiritual. As we continue on our journey here, I thought it would also be important to discuss what spirituality is not. It is not about the crystals, the essential oils, channeling, Reiki, all that stuff.
Those are all helpful tools along your spiritual path, but you don't need them.
Ran into our moose friends on the way back down. It was truly a treat to see them. As we're nearing the end of our journey here, one of the last topics I want to talk about is spiritual development and why it's important. Some of the best ways to develop spiritually involve disciplines such as contemplation, prayer, and meditation. These practices are important because they are what allow you to connect with spirit, where you can access your higher self, or intelligent infinity, intelligent energy if you're into Law of One terms. From there, you can discover your purpose or receive guidance. Practicing these disciplines is also important because they are what allow you to overcome the ego or the mind, where you can access inspiration and feel the positive emotions and do what truly makes you happy.
Whew. Well, we made it. Finally back. Did about just over 9 miles there. I'm exhausted, but it was pretty incredible. I hope you all enjoyed it also. In closing, I'd just like to mention that spirituality isn't something that you can obtain or acquire. That's your ego talking. And also, it's not always all about pleasure and happiness. You got to work through the dark night of the soul. You got to go through those tough times, and that's what spirituality is.
I hope this helped provide a basic overview to what spirituality is. Let me know what you thought of the video, if you like the format and being out in nature, and most importantly, let me know what spirituality is to you. I hope to see you again here soon.